You know, what's interesting is I should have asked Matt before we started this. Is this the 32nd fall? I think this is your 32. And I feel the same way each one. And that's what's really special about it is you still get the jitters. I still wonder if I know how to organize a practice and conduct a practice. I mean, I go through that. It takes 2 weeks to convince myself that I have any experience of putting together a practice. I mean, I think all that's healthy, but no, it's really exciting. This is a good group. I think it was Jordy that spoke about all of our returners plus 2 of our 3 transfers were here for the second 5 weeks, and they did all that on their own. In fact, I think I was out recruiting when I got a text from one of the players and said, everybody's here. And I think that's just a testament to their own investment and their own excitement in this program, and they've done a lot of hard work. And, you know, a lot of people, obviously we're going to talk about what Jordy Ball brings to our program, but the thing that's really great is there was a really strong foundation that a lot of the other players did to make this program in a really healthy place. And then you add a talent like a Jordy Ball and, quite honestly, our other 2 transfers and some of our freshmen as well. There's a lot of reason to be excited.
Does that early buy-in set the tone for the season?
Yeah. Well, in our year-end meetings, I was really impressed because our players, almost to a person, were talking about, we don't want to be sitting here next year on this day. We'd like to continue to play, and we're willing to do whatever it takes to do that. And that was before we knew we were going to have Jordy join us. And so with that kind of attitude, and they recognized, I said, well, how do you think we're going to get there? And they all recognize we need more internal competition. And I mean, we're going to be competing out here for some positions. Now this fall, you may not see it quite as much because we've got a few people sidelined. Billy Andrews had a little cleanup in her shoulder in the off season, so you won't see her this fall. But I just think, you know, we've got some really good talent. I actually think we have a chance to have a better offense than we had last year, and I thought we had a nice offense last year, but we really just lost Maya Felder in our lineup, and Courtney there at the end, but she wasn't a day in and day out hitter, and we've really added some offensive power.
With increasing that competition, how does someone as competitive as Jordy kind of rub off on people?
You know, the thing I really appreciate about Jordy is she's kind of stayed in the background and not really tried to exert her voice. She's really humble, and I actually went to her just a few days ago and I said, you know, people really respect you. And so if you feel something, please say it. And the very next day she said a couple things in a little short team meeting that we had, and I heard several people go, that was really great, and they want to hear from her because she's been there. I mean, she and Lori Sipple are the only 2 players in our organization that have 3 national championships. And so both of them, when they talk, you want to listen because they've been the last women standing in several occasions.
In taking that next step, what can this fall do to set that tone? What do you want to see out of this fall season?
You know, we've talked a lot about a sense of urgency, and really the sense of urgency is on the daily and the preparation, and not panicking about it, but actually in the preparation that could actually comfort you. So when it does get to the end, you can trust that preparation, but it has to start every day with really a sense of urgency and beginning with the end in mind. And how good can this team be? I don't know. And I think both Jordy and Brooke said we're going to work to get better every day. We can feel that we have talent. We can feel that we have depth. And now it's our job as coaches and as players to just be committed to really, doing the work that's required to be as good as we can be.
You've had a few weeks of coaching Jordy here this fall, Rhonda. How good is she?
We'll say that one more time.
How good is she?
How good? Well, she's everything that I've seen and watched from high school on through Oklahoma. But I will tell you what makes her so special is her standard for herself. And her standard for herself, it wouldn't matter if it were midnight and the closest person was 10 miles away. She'd still work the way that she does every day at practice. And I think that's what elite athletes do. I mean, I've read a lot about Michael Jordan. I've read a lot about Kobe Bryant. And you could insert a Jordy Ball. That's the kind of work and the kind of focus that she has. And I don't know if you can really teach somebody that. I think they're kind of born with that.
How have you seen her bat in practice?
Yeah, she's got a great swing. She's a great competitor. We're excited about that. The one thing we're trying to be careful with, obviously pitching is a great gift that she brings to this team, and it's very much a specialty. So we're trying to manage her swing count and make sure that, she went through a pretty severe injury her freshman year, and we don't want to flare that up, and we want to be very good stewards of her health that way. So she's monitoring. We're monitoring with our trainer and all that. So, but she's also one of our fastest runners. So we're going to feature her. If you're out here tomorrow, you'll see her on both sides of the ball.
So clearly you have a sense of what role she'll fill for you in the spring. In the fall, is that different? Do you use her less on the mound? How do you structure that?
Yeah, it might be different as far as quantity, but not in quality, So, for instance, if the game is requiring that we put our ace on the mound, we're going to put our ace on the mound. But she may not throw as many games or as many innings as she might throw this spring. And that's still all to be determined. And, for instance, we're working her some in the outfield, but we're not having her throw overhand out there at all. It's like a no throw. She'll shadow throw. But she can still get reps in, and she's really good out there, too.
How is someone like Peyton Cody fitting in so far, and how do you see her being used in the fall?
I think the one thing you can say about all of our transfers, and I'm just going to echo what our players have said, it doesn't feel like they're transfers. They've blended in so beautifully. So Peyton, Bella, and Jordy just seem like they've been a part of this team. Peyton, her skill set is, she's been a catcher. She went through a knee surgery. She's back to catching. It would be on a limited basis. It gives us depth. She also plays in the outfield, but she also has the ability to bring a big bat to our offense, which is really exciting as well.
Peyton, how important was it to you to get someone else who could catch after Ava played almost the entire season back there last year?
Well, very important. That gave us a lot of comfort. And, we have, of course, Hayden, we have McKinley, and they do a fine job. They just don't have a lot of college innings of experience. And, the way the game is, it's so tough now. And you can be one foul ball away from having a catcher in concussion protocol, and it happens. And so just to add that depth gave us great comfort.
Rhonda, what do you think of this for fall softball? And what do you think it can do for your players to probably have more people here when you're playing an exhibition game?
In our coaches meeting, we were just talking about that very thing this morning, Mitch, is that I hope for their sake there is a crowd here, because they need to start to deal with that. That's new. Anytime you're going through something for the first time, they've played in front of some big crowds and regionals and stuff, but to experience that in fall when they're playing each other and it's really just a glorified practice, they have to start to deal with some of the emotions of that, and that's all helping them prepare to be battle tested. And we're going to have a lot of this season eyes on us. Eyes are already on us, and not just from a softball community, but from Husker Nation and all that. So I welcome as any of this that we can get. In fact, when I was walking out to come to visit with you all, a couple of freshmen asked me where I was going, and I said, I'm going to go to a press conference. They're like, a press conference? So there you go. They've been in school for 2 weeks.
You said the pavilion was renaming. When Peaches played, you guys had new seats, and now with Jordy and the new interest, what's that like from coaching through the years, and especially now with this upcoming season and just the public interest?
Yeah, you know what? It feels really good to have people interested in Nebraska softball. I think that's a great testament, again, I'll say, to the work that the players have put in. And, we've always wanted to be good stewards to our community and good stewards of our university, and that's first and foremost. And, that they're going to come out and they're going to play hard. And I think anytime you see that, it's like even reading about our volleyball team last night. I know they won decisively, but, just the commentary about that you always can count on them to play hard on defense. Well, that's a standard. I want people to feel that standard with Nebraska softball as well.